The original Daemon X Machina was a sleeper hit on Nintendo Switch when it launched in September 2019, and after its PC release in collaboration with The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt, it seemed like the game had built enough of a cult following to ensure there's more mecha action to come. At the time, I certainly loved what Daemon X Machina had to offer as a fast-paced, fluid mecha action game with light looter-shooter elements. 6 years and one new Nintendo Switch 2 console later, the release of Daemon X Machina Titanic Scion is imminent, and I certainly had high expectations after how much I enjoyed the first game. Thanks to Marvelous USA, I was able to experience what Daemon X Machina Titanic Scion had to offer in its opening hours, and so far, I'm very optimistic about what this game entails. Daemon X Machina Titanic Scion puts players back in the shoes of an Outer, a mutated human who can harness femto energy, and their arsenal, but there's an entirely different conflict to contend with now. Humankind on the Red Planet, also known as Earth Prime, colonized the Blue Planet and modified its environment to make it suitable for habitation. A 76-year war was held before the two planets decided to sign a non-intervention treaty. But when the use of femto energy gave rise to Outers, inequality became a prevalent issue, leading the Outers to form a strict military regime known as the Sovereign Axiom. The leaders of the Axiom, the Trinitas, separated the homes of the Outers and the humans and asserts control over the humans. This is where the game picks up, as the player character escapes the Axiom with the help of their buddy, Nerve, and joins the Reclaimers, humans who resist the rule of the Axiom, on the ground with their arsenal while battling monstrous beasts known as Immortals. Although I covered Daemon X Machina Titanic Scion extensively since its initial reveal in 2023, the game itself is more expansive and feature-rich than I initially thought. Unlike Daemon X Machina's armored core-like structure with missions, the sequel puts you right into a massive Axiom space facility after you've created your character, and you break free while claiming your arsenal, getting a feel of the combat system, taking down enemies, and picking up their weapons. Once you're down to the ground, you have access to a large open world that invokes a sense of vastness and freedom that very few games can achieve, such as the Xenoblade series. There are various locales to explore, and it all looks amazing and otherworldly. It's more lifelike and slightly less bleak than the setting that the original Daemon X Machina went for. The main story picks up after you crash land on the ground and get rescued by a strange robotic boy named Toby, who seeks help from the player in order to save his father figure, Forge, from Immortals. After saving Forge, you join the Reclaimers' cause in a sense and begin your journey from the very bottom as a fledgling Coliseum fighter and Arsenal pilot on Forge's fight team. I never would have expected this sort of approach from Daemon X Machina Titanic Scion, but it definitely works. Not only do you feel like you have a lot to prove as a pilot, but you get to familiarize yourself with your own arsenal and how you would want to build and fine-tune it as you take on story and side missions. As you progress the story, you learn more about the world while seeking to take down the Axiom, and there are very action-packed moments. Although I can't say more specific details on the story, I thoroughly enjoyed the world building that the game brings in its opening hours. I thoroughly enjoyed the frantic combat in the original Daemon X Machina, especially with how responsive movement felt in the mechs. I'm thrilled to say that the combat system of Daemon X Machina Titanic Scion is just as great, if not better than the original games. The weapon variety is commendable, as it feels like there's a new weapon to try out very often while exploring the world and taking down Immortals, stray pilots, Axiom forces, and other enemies. From gauntlets to longbows and machine guns to bazookas, there's a lot of weaponry with unique stats and perks to consider. You can wield up to 4 main weapons, along with a shoulder-mounted weapon or gadget and an inventory of items. This also applies to armor from the arsenal, ranging from lightweight to heavyweight. From the moment you land on the ground, there's a sense of a loot chase since you're able to seek out better weapons and gear from chests and fallen enemies. You're often presented with choices when it comes to loot drops as well, since you can only pick out one of a few options from a dead stray pilot or Immortal. There are more than enough loadout slots to create builds that tailors to specific combat scenarios too. New to Daemon X Machina Titanic Scion are Immortal factors and the fusion system. These two features go hand in hand, as Immortal factors are mutations you can fuse to your character to receive stat bonuses and additional effects. Admittedly, I didn't have much time to spend with these features for this preview, but it's clear that you can get powerful by using them. However, it comes at the cost of your Outer's humanity, as the character will appear heavily mutated and more like an Immortal. At first, it may seem like there are too many weapons and systems to keep up with, but it's actually rather straightforward, since each weapon can be fired from the left bumper and triggers. In addition, you can remap every button and completely edit the HUD to your liking. These options are present on every platform, including the Nintendo Switch 2 version. An action-driven game needs really good performance in order for it to be responsive and satisfying to play, and fortunately, Daemon X Machina Titanic Scion manages to perform quite well on Nintendo Switch 2. I only ran into a few issues after installing the day one, such as a few brief stutters while soaring through the world on my mech. There were some frame drops in the vast desert area I've explored thus far, but it was still a great experience overall. I've said this multiple times with my recent reviews of games on Switch 2, but this is another case of a game running great for the system. I can't confirm exact performance metrics here, but Daemon X Machina Titanic Scion looks excellent on a 4K display, and I love how intricate and complex the arsenal designs can get. The graphics are clean and crisp, and the character designs also look amazing and reminiscent of Monolith Soft's work on the aforementioned Xenoblade series. So far, I'm really enjoying what Daemon X Machina Titanic Scion brings to the table. It's been a while since I've been invested in a mecha game, and the Daemon X Machina series brings an experience that is quite unique in this subgenre. From what I've played, Daemon X Machina Titanic Scion is more Daemon X Machina but bigger and better in nearly every way, including weapon and gear variety, customization features, and accessibility in gameplay and options. There's so much more to Daemon X Machina Titanic Scion, and I can't wait to delve into it in a full review, so stay tuned. Lastly, Daemon X Machina Titanic Scion launches September 5th for Nintendo Switch 2, PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X and S, and PC via Steam. Marvelous USA provided a Nintendo Switch 2 copy of Daemon X Machina Titanic Scion for preview purposes.